Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. I am here today to tell you, I understand that many of you don't think that interracial marriage should be accepted, and I totally understand. I'm not here to judge, but I just want you to understand. I want you to understand why I think that it should be accepted. Yes, interracial marriage are looked badly upon. Their kids are treated badly. I know I understand it causes conflict within the family, saying that that person is not good for you, and that person is not our culture. He won't love you. She won't love you. Yes, you're scared of this and that, but you shouldn't define someone for the color of their skin. I believe that interracial marriage should be accepted because one, there's no legal prohibition against the law about marrying another race. Two, it benefits oneself to incorporate the aspect of another culture or the same culture or so. And three, it's important to keep kids. It's important to have kids with different and combined racial to be more wise. So there's no law. There's no legal prohibition against the law about marrying another race. There's a case called Loving versus Virginia. Richard Loving was a Caucasian man who married a black woman. They lived in Virginia, but at that time they couldn't get married because Virginia banned that, saying two races could not be married. So they went to Washington, D.C. so they could be married. So because in Washington, D.C., there was no law saying that. After they got married, they came back to Virginia, but they were arrested because they couldn't be together. Because of their race, they couldn't be together. But then, in exchange for the freedom, Richard said to the cops, saying that if you let us go, we won't come back. We are banned. So they left and went back to Washington, D.C. After a while, Richard thought that it wasn't right. So he took it to the Virginia court, saying that it's not right to not let two people marry each other because of the color of the skin. That does not matter anything with the heart. And that shouldn't be defined and shouldn't have a law. But the Virginia court still didn't agree with him. So Richard took that to Supreme Court and said, I'm just kidding, said that it needs to be accepted. Race has nothing to do with who a person is or how they act. It's something that people classify themselves as. It's something that people judge someone else's at. But it's not how someone really is. Supreme Court agreed with him, and then they banned all laws saying that two races can't marry each other because that's unconstitutional. Another reason why that I think that interracial marriage should be accepted is because it benefits oneself to incorporate aspect of the culture or two culture possibly. So Kristen, she's a writer at Star Tribune, and she wrote in October 2011 about Nancy Yang and her husband. Nancy Yang married a Swedish man, and she was Hmong. Of course, that wasn't really accepted in the Hmong community, but then she still did it because she loved him. After about 10 years, Nancy interviewed her, asking her how it felt and if they're thinking about having kids anytime soon. And then Nancy replied saying that in 2 or 3 years they're thinking about having kids already, and she'll consider them, and I quote, our little Jewish babies. I find that very cute that they put two different races together So then it has one baby. Well, obviously. And with that baby, um, that baby could have two different aspects or two different cultures, and be more wise in the community about how society might work or how culture might work. Another reason why I think that interracial marriage should be accepted is because it's important to have kids with different and combined racial. February 2009, according to Time, Kevin Biney of the Stanford Graduate School of Business did a study on 182 students that are multiracial. And he reported that they are significantly less physiological, less stress compared to someone that is one race. Also, they engage in the same problem. They engage in the same problem just as someone that is a different race. And like with that, knowing that, I understand maybe some of the families and the parents think that, with two different genes from two different culture, two different race, maybe maybe the baby will be messed up. Maybe the baby will have like disadvantages compared to a one race child. But that's not the case according to Kevin Biden. So to conclude all of what I just said, interracial should be accepted because it's increasing throughout the years without you realizing it or with you realizing it. Yes, it will cause a lot of conflict in the family. Yes, you might not like your son or your daughter's spouse, but there's nothing you really can't do. There's nothing you can really do about that. I just wanted to make it easier on you guys because there are benefits about having about interracial marriage. They can have wonderful babies, cute babies. There's no law against it, and they will be less stressed compared to other students. And I just want you to take that knowledge out the door, saying that interracial marriage it can be beneficial, and it might. Thank you. Oh, can't drop it down.